Good afternoon, and welcome back to a special edition of TVM-News. Today is Friday, April 8th. I'm Julian Sachoka.
And I'm Soren Swanson. You might notice that something is a little different today here at TVM News.
Yes, indeed, Soren. This week, TVM News talent and crew decided to switch things up.
But don't worry, even from everyone's new positions, we are still going to deliver the news that you care about.
Marywood-University hosted a board game night Tuesday. TVM special correspondent Emma Rushworth has the news.
Office of Student Engagement hosted a board games activity night on Tuesday evening in the Fireplace Lounge. Those in attendance had the chance to play fan favorites such as Scrabble, Yahtzee, and Connect 4. Classic games such as chess, checkers, and Chutes and Ladders were also available to play.
I needed a break from everything that was going on. As some of you guys know, Psych Fair is coming up on Friday, so my stress levels were a little high, just trying to prepare all of that stuff. So just a fun relaxer with my friends. Definitely just to have that little self-care moment or little break in studying. Plus, especially if you're trying to win something, that's a plus. So
at the board game night, there was also a raffle for an Xbox Series S. For TVM News, I'm Emma Rushworth. Back to the desk.
Marywood-University's recently signed 2 memorandums of understanding with 2 international educational facilities. The facilities are the Arab Academy of Science Technology and the Maritime Transport in Egypt and the Seoul Institute of the Arts in Ansan, South Korea. Representatives from respective institutions came together at Marywood in early March to discuss academic cooperation and academic program development methods, as well as ways to develop in corporate exchange programs between the institutions.
Marywood men's basketball coach Enrico Mastriani has been honored for his dedication to a special cause. The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society has named Coach Mastriani as one of its Man of the Year candidates. He is attempting to raise $25,000 for the charity by May 18th. Mastriani was inspired by his father's death from blood cancer to help the cause.
Social work programs are having a Zoom information sessions for students looking to pursue a master's degree in social work. There are Zoom meetings on April 6th and May 4th. For students who want to get their master's in social work through Marywood's relationship with DeSales University, the meetings are on April 20th and May 25th. The links can be found on Marywood's website.
Dr. David Palmer will be honored with a Special Service Award from the Pennsylvania Psychological Association. Dr. Palmer will receive the 2022 Distinguished Service Award for his dedication to the association. Previously, as the PPA president, he implemented policies to enhance mental health services for children in the state.
When we come back, we will tell you about a local cornhole tournament.
Myth. If you get COVID-19, you'll recover after a few days. That myth is false. We're only just beginning to understand the effects of COVID-19 on the human body, as we're starting to see more and more people identifying as long haulers who are having symptoms for weeks, if not months, after their initial infection. Continue to wear a mask, socially distance, and wash your hands. Together, we can keep COVID out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Hey, let's check out this park. Wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
I don't think we're free in this country. For 100 years, you saw black people menaced and targeted and lynched and beaten and brutalized. I think we're burdened by this history. More people have to be willing to do that uncomfortable, inconvenient thing that justice requires for things to get better.
Truth can inspire change. Learn more at EJI.org.
Homicide charges have been filed following a shooting in Hazleton. According to police, Frangel Garcia Andujar has fired a gun, fatally striking 17-year-old Stanley Jimson. Andujar was charged with homicide, attempted homicide, and aggravated assault and is currently behind bars in Luzerne County.
A 38-year-old mother of two was killed on Saturday after her ATV flipped over and she was trapped. Jamie Uchik from German was riding ATVs in the park with her husband and kids when the ATV flipped into a puddle, trapping her underneath. Her husband was able to get her child out.
A special election was held in Luzerne County this week. The seat representing the 116th district in the Pennsylvania State House of Representatives was up for grabs for three candidates. Robert Schnee won the election and replaced Representative Tara Tuhill, who stepped down to become a judge on the Luzerne County Court of Common Pleas.
The Holiday Inn in Dunmore hosted a cornhole tournament fundraiser. 23 teams competed to raise money for the NEPA Youth Shelter. The event was sponsored by Valhalla Cornhole Club, an organization made up of veterans.
A father in Luzerne County has been sentenced for the death of his child. Kayshawn Butler of Wilkes-Barre was convicted of third-degree murder after he shook his 3-month-old son in 2012, causing the infant's death. On Tuesday, Butler was sentenced to 15 to 30 years in prison for the homicide.
The Double R Twirlettes Twirling Group hosted their 43rd annual Twirl-a-thon this weekend. Crowds gathered at the Viewmont Mall in Dixon City to watch the show. The Double R Twirlettes collected pledges and donations to benefit the St. Joseph Center.
Police in Lackawanna County confirmed that a body found near the Lackawanna River was identified as 70-year-old Thomas Yerrick, who had been missing since Sunday. His car was found near the Lackawanna River Heritage Trail, and a backpack belonging to him was found Monday night along the riverbank. A man walking along Manuka Avenue found Yerrick's body Tuesday morning.
One man was injured, another arrested after a fight broke out at the Breakers Bar inside the Mohegan Sun Casino. Police were called to the casino around midnight on Saturday after a man punched another man in the head multiple times. 46-year-old Paul Hilton of Plymouth was charged with simple assault, reckless endangering another person, resisting arrest, harassment, and disorderly conduct. The other man was taken to the hospital. When we come back, we will tell you about abortion in Oklahoma.
Myth. I can party with people as long as they don't have symptoms. That myth is false. As we've seen, up to 40% of people who have COVID-19 are asymptomatic and can pass it on to others. So I'd recommend avoiding any social parties, especially indoor ones. If you want to try to socialize but reduce your risk, I'd recommend meeting outside in small groups, continuing to wear a mask, and socially distancing from others if you can. Then together, we can keep COVID-19 out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school, because this may be the last time I'll have lunch.
till September.
I am a single father of two who works 3 part-time jobs, and that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfies nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
A Pennsylvania student was injured in a shooting on Tuesday. The shooter, who is only 15 years old, was at large immediately following the shooting at Erie High School. It is believed that the shooting was not random, as the shooter and victim knew each other. The victim was hospitalized with non-threatening injuries and is expected to be okay.
6 people are dead and 12 are injured after a mass shooting in Sacramento, California, early Sunday morning. The incident happened in the city's nightlife area, just steps away from the state capitol. Okay. Six people are dead and 12 are injured after a mass shooting in downtown Sacramento, California, early Sunday morning. The incident happened in the city's nightlife area, just steps away from the state capitol building. The shooting is believed to have been caused by a fight. The suspect remains at large. However, investigators have determined that there were multiple shooters.
Oklahoma has become the latest state to criminalize abortion in the country. The state legislature passed a bill this week to make performing abortions a felony. Providers who are convicted would face up to 10 years in prison. Republican Governor Kevin Stitt indicated that he would sign the bill into law, which would go into effect in the summer.
The Grammy Awards were this past Sunday after being postponed from its original date due to the Omicron variant of the coronavirus. Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic won all 4 awards it was up for, including Record and Song of the Year. Olivia Rodrigo took home 3 Grammys for her debut album, Sour, and John Baptiste took home Album of the Year for his album, We Are.
A judge in Oregon ruled that a romance author's blog cannot be used against her in court. 71-year-old Nancy Crampton Bruffy is accused of shooting her husband Daniel in 2018. Crampton Bruffy had a blog titled How to Murder Your Husband, which prosecutors in her murder trial hoped to submit into evidence. However, the judge in the case ruled against it.
The Taliban has announced a ban on harvesting poppies. The ban comes after they found out that most farmers harvest poppies for opium to then turn into heroin. The Taliban has threatened to burn any crops and arrest the farmers if they were caught still harvesting the poppies. The poppy farming is one of the very few ways poor people in Afghanistan can make money.
A decades-old cold case has finally been solved. The I-65 killer who sexually assaulted and murdered 3 women at Days Inn hotels was identified this week by police as Harry Edward Greenell. The positive identification was through DNA testing. Greenell died in 2013, but has been linked to the killings in the 1980s. Police are investigating the possibility that Greenell may have been involved in more crimes in the area.
A man in Germany got 90 COVID-19 vaccinations in order to sell forged vaccine cards. The 60-year-old man from Magdeburg then sold the cards to people who didn't want to get the vaccine themselves, but still wanted to do things that required proof of vaccination. The police caught the man after he showed up to the same vaccine clinic 2 days in a row. When we come back, we will check in with TVM sports anchors Allison Hewitt and Kyle Driscoll for the latest in Marywood and professional sports.
COVID-19 has changed how we express our faith and gather to worship. Now it's time to take the first step that lets us get back to spreading the word without spreading concern. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts. As COVID-19 vaccines become available, you may have questions.
Should I get it?
Is it safe? Should I wait? It's smart to question. Now, get the facts at getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision when vaccines are available to you.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Allison Hewitt.
And I'm Kyle Driscoll. Allison, did you watch the men's and women's March Madness tournaments?
No, I didn't, but I can't wait to hear about it. But before we get to that, I have news about Marywood sports. The Marywood women's tennis team now has a 3-game win streak as they enter their first match in the Atlantic East Conference after taking on Immaculata University this past Wednesday. The girls won 7-2. The Pacers' next match will be tomorrow at home against Cabrini University at 1 p.m. The Marywood men's tennis team's start to the Atlantic East Conference was unfortunately not as successful as the women's after 9 hard-fought matches. Our boys lost to Immaculata 4-5 this past Wednesday. Hopefully they'll be able to turn it around tomorrow as the Pacers travel to take on Cabrini University at 12 p.m. Gwynedd-Mercy University gave the Pacers a run for their money this week in baseball. This past Monday, the Marywood baseball team competed in a doubleheader against the Griffins. The Pacers had a rocky start, losing their first game 2-4. However, once our boys got their head in the game, the Pacers were able to make a comeback, winning 9-2 in the second game, with each team winning 1 game. The following day, both Pacers and the Griffins were out for revenge. Unfortunately, after a hard-fought battle as the Pacers fell 3-4. Next, the baseball team will take on Newman University. Today, our boys travel to Newman, and tomorrow the Knights will travel here to compete in a doubleheader. After acquiring a 3-game loss streak, the Marywood softball team made the turnaround this past Monday in the second round of their doubleheader. In the first round, Cabrini University defeated the Pacers 3-5. However, in the second round, our girls were not as giving up as they won 5-4 in the 8th inning. Softball will take on Gwynedd-Mercy University tomorrow in a doubleheader beginning at 1 p.m. After earning a 4-game win streak, the Marywood men's lacrosse team fell to Marymount University 10-14. However, in the next match this past Wednesday, they made a comeback, winning 11-4 against Immaculata University. Hopefully our boys can build their winning streak back as they take on Centenary University tomorrow at home for their senior day. The Marywood women's lacrosse team has now acquired a 6-game loss streak. The Pacers were defeated by Marymount University this past Saturday 8-16, and again on Wednesday 8-11 against Immaculata University. Hopefully the girls will be able to turn the streak around as they take on Cabrini University this Tuesday, April 12th at 4 p.m. Marywood's women's rugby team will be competing in their last tournament of the season tomorrow. The Pacers will enter the EPRU Championship Tournament at Franklin and Marshall University. Women's rugby will be competing against University of Scranton, Ursinus College, and Gettysburg College starting at 10 a.m. The Marywood men's rugby team will be hosting the Marywood Sevens tournament tomorrow. The Pacers will be competing against DeSales University, Juniata College, and Widener University starting at 10:30 a.m. That's all from Marywood Sports. Let's check in with Kyle to hear the latest in professional sports. Kyle?
Thanks, Allison. New York Yankees will start off their 2022 season with 16 pitchers and 3 bench players at their home opener game today against the Boston Red Sox. According to MLB guidelines, teams are allowed to have a stacked roster of 28 players due to the shortened spring training this year. Once the expanded rosters end on May 1st, the Yankees will hang on to 13 of those pitchers and 4 position reserves. Men's and women's March Madness has officially ended, and the winner of the 2022 men's tournament was the number 1 seeded team, the Kansas Jayhawks. This is the 4th national championship the team has won. After trailing the North Carolina Tar Heels by 15 points at overtime, Kansas's offense scored 47 points after halftime. Their starting forward, David McCormack, also scored the final 4 points of the game, making the ending score 72-69. The winner of the 2022 women's tournament is the South Carolina Trojans. The Trojans took on the University of Connecticut's Huskies in the championship game and came out on top with a final score of 64-49. Senior guard Destiny Henderson led the Trojans to victory by scoring 24 of their 64 points. The Hershey Bears hockey team won the franchise's 3,000th match on Tuesday morning. This record comes after the Bears bring home a 4-3 overtime win against the Bridgeport Islanders. Hershey is the first team in the American Hockey League history to gain this feat and only the 5th team in professional hockey to accomplish this. With this win, the Bears improved the club's record and snapped a 7-game skid while on the road. Doug Sutherland, former Minnesota Vikings defensive tackle, passed away Tuesday at the age of 73. Sutherland was a part of the Vikings for 10 seasons and within that time made 90 starts and appeared in 138 games. He also appeared in 3 Super Bowls for the Vikings and starred in Super Bowl 9 and 11. In 2010, Sutherland was named one of the Vikings' 50 greatest players, a list that was made for their 50th anniversary. His career finished with the Seattle Seahawks in 1981. That's all for sports this week. When we come back, Julian and Soren have news about a British family.
Oh, it's on. Release the meteor! Whoa!
He's looking at you, kid.
I dig it.
That felt pretty great. Because the fight isn't over yet.
You will see me choose to protect my community by wearing a face cover.
And even with my face covered,
you will see me.
As a son.
As a man with a never quit attitude.
As a fighter for change.
Join me in wearing a face cover.
To help stop the spread of the coronavirus.
Because this is one small act of kindness
that has the power to make a big difference.
Hello everybody, your old pal Grover here with some health tips. Wash your hands throughout the day with soap and water for 20 seconds. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh well. Also, practice physical distance by staying 6 feet away from people in public, and do not forget to wear a mask, and whoa! So that is where the soap went. Yeah.
Caring for each other because we are all in this together.
A British family contacted local animal services after discovering 2 lizards had stowed away in their luggage following a vacation to Florida. The lizards traveled roughly 4,000 miles from Disney World to Lincolnshire. Fortunately, the father of the family was a veterinarian and knew how to catch and care lizards before they were taken to animal services. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, sounds like something a Florida lizard would get into. That's going to do it for this week's special edition of TVM News. From everyone at TV-Marywood, thanks for tuning in.
Be sure to follow TV-Marywood's YouTube page and like the TVM Facebook page to stay up to date on the latest happenings and watch additional content. I'm Soren Svanson.
And I'm Julian Tchoka. Have a fantastic weekend, Marywood. We'll see you next week.